Maya Nakamura floated in the observation bubble, watching 27 alien representatives argue in a language her neural implant couldn't quite translate, something about carbon-based ignorance and temporal immaturity. Through the transparent aluminum, she could see their holographic forms flickering like bad projector images, tentacles waving, crystalline structures pulsing, and what looked like a sentient gas cloud getting increasingly agitated. She was about to become humanity's first official ambassador to the Council of Civilizations, assuming they didn't laugh her out of the galaxy first. "Remind me why we're doing this again." Jax Chen's voice crackled through her earpiece. He was back on Earth, probably surrounded by a dozen screens showing various doomsday scenarios. "Because we have something they want," Maya replied, tapping the quantum-entangled crystal hanging around her neck, one of the few Earth possessed, each worth more than the GDP of North America. "And they have something we need. Protection. Trade routes, mostly. But yeah, protection too. Hard to sell crystals when the Vortari collective keeps accidentally vaporizing our freighters." Commander Rita Okafor's clipped voice cut in. "Lieutenant Nakamura, you're up in 30 seconds. Remember the briefing, don't show weakness, don't admit ignorance, and whatever you do, don't mention we're basically flying by the seat of our pants." Maya activated her translation implant and stepped into the chamber proper. The holographic form solidified around her, not physically, of course, but the sensory input was overwhelming. She was suddenly surrounded by beings that defied physics and biology in equal measure. The representative from Sol, 3 may speak, intoned the Arbiter, a being that resembled a mobile galaxy compressed into humanoid form. Maya cleared her throat. She'd practiced this speech 1,000 times. "Esteemed members of the Council, humanity formally requests membership and all associated protections and privileges. We offer our quantum-entangled crystals for faster-than-light navigation, our unique biological diversity for medical research, and our, Your what?" rumbled the Threnodai ambassador, a rock-like creature the size of a small building. Maya's mind raced. They'd rehearsed several angles, but in the moment, surrounded by beings who'd been traveling between stars before humans discovered fire, she felt woefully inadequate. Then she remembered something from the intercepted alien communications Jax had decoded last week. "Our reality fragmenter," she blurted out. The chamber fell silent. Several ambassadors recoiled, their various appendages, energy fields, and quantum states shifting dramatically. "You possess a reality fragmenter," the Arbiter's voice had taken on a different quality, something like reverence mixed with fear. Maya heard Rita's muffled cursing in her earpiece. They'd discussed this in the briefings, rumors of a weapon that Earth supposedly possessed, something about manipulating the fundamental constants of reality itself. The problem was, humanity had no such weapon. The intercepted communications had been speculation, probably alien intelligence probes testing Earth's reaction. "We do," Maya said, hoping her voice didn't shake. "It's still in development, of course. Test phases. You know how it is." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien languages, her implant struggling to keep up. She caught fragments, balance of power, cascade failure in Sector 7, mutually assured. The Arbiter raised what might have been a hand, and silence returned. "This changes the parameters of evaluation. We will reconsider Earth's application. You may return to your station while we deliberate." Maya was ushered out, her legs feeling like jelly. As soon as she was back in the observation bubble, her team's voices exploded in her earpiece. "What the hell did you just do?" Rita demanded. "I improvised." Maya snapped back. "You just told the entire galactic community we have a weapon that could unravel reality." Dr. Amara Kovic's usually calm voice had an edge to it. "A weapon that, I should mention, we don't actually have." "Yeah, I noticed that, thanks," Maya muttered, watching the alien delegates through the transparent wall. Their body language, or whatever passed for it, had completely changed. They were keeping distance from each other, forming what looked like strategic clusters. Jax's voice came through, slightly distorted by distance. Actually, guys, this might not be the worst thing ever. Explain, Rita demanded. I've been digging through our intercepts. The reality fragmenter wasn't just mentioned in passing, it's been a recurring theme in Council communications for months. They're scared of it. They think we already have one. But we don't, Amara insisted. Right, but they don't know that. And fear of unknown weapons has been shaping interstellar politics for centuries. The Kresh hegemony claims to have converted 3 stars into some kind of dimensional weapon. The temporal sovereignty allegedly developed a device that can erase civilizations from the timeline. Nobody's ever seen these weapons work, but nobody wants to find out if they're real either. Maya watched the council reformed in what looked like a defensive formation. So you're saying, everyone's been bluffing? The whole damn galaxy's been bluffing, Lieutenant, Jax confirmed. It's all one big game of cosmic chicken. Dr. Kovic cleared her throat. Actually, about that reality fragmenter thing. I may have some thoughts. Don't tell me you actually built one, Rita said dryly. Not built, no. But I've been working on theoretical applications of quantum entanglement that could, hypothetically, cause localized reality distortions. It's all math at this point, but the framework exists. Given enough time and resources. Maya's mind raced. They had stumbled into something massive here. The council wasn't just a diplomatic body, it was an elaborate dance of mutually assured destruction, held together by fears of weapons nobody could prove existed. How long to make it real, she asked. Years. Maybe decades. The power requirements alone. Don't need it to be real, Maya interrupted. Just need them to think it's real. The Arbiter's voice suddenly filled the chamber. Representative Nakamura, the council has reached a preliminary decision. Will you rejoin us? Maya looked at her reflection in the transparent aluminum. She'd come here to negotiate trade agreements. Now she was playing the highest stakes bluff in human history. Here goes nothing, she muttered, activating the chamber door. This time, when she entered, the atmosphere was completely different. The assembled beings regarded her with what she could only interpret as cautious respect. The tentacled creature that had been dismissive earlier now kept its appendages tucked close to its body. The council acknowledges humanity's strategic capabilities, the Arbiter began. However, membership in the council requires more than possession of destructive technology. We must witness this reality fragmenter in operation. Maya's heart sank. That's complicated. Why? Several responses flashed through her mind, each more disastrous than the last. Finally, she settled on a version of the truth. Test firing a reality fragmenter isn't something you do casually. The last demonstration caused a 3-light-year dead zone in what used to be the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy. She'd made that up entirely, but several aliens shuffled nervously. A controlled demonstration then, the Arbiter suggested. I'll need to consult with my technical team, Maya said, buying time. And we'll need to choose the test site carefully. Wouldn't want to accidentally fragment anything important. The Arbiter conferred with the other council members in what sounded like quantum static. Finally, you have one standard galactic month. Demonstrate your reality fragmenter, with appropriate safety measures, and humanity will be granted provisional membership. Fail to do so. We get spaced, I know, Maya finished. 1 month. We'll be ready. The moment Maya's shuttle docked back at Earth Station Alpha, she was swarmed by her team. Rita was pacing like a caged predator, Jax was buried in holographic data streams, and Amara looked like she hadn't slept in days. Okay, reality check, Rita said without preamble. We have 30 Earth days to demonstrate a weapon we don't have, to beings who could probably turn our solar system into a paperweight if they get annoyed. Please tell me someone has a plan. Maya slumped into a chair. Amara, you said your quantum theory could work theoretically. Define, theoretically. Like proving the theory of relativity using an abacus and some string, Amara replied. The math checks out, but the practical application. She gestured vaguely at the air, creating holographic equations. We'd need to quantum entangle a crystal matrix the size of Manhattan, channel enough energy to power Europe for a year, and somehow not accidentally tear a hole in spacetime. So, totally doable, Jax said dryly, pulling up a holographic display. Except I've got some good news. Remember how I said everyone's been bluffing? I've intercepted more communications. The Kresh Hegemony's star converter weapon. They've been stalling on demonstrations for 60 years. The temporal sovereignty's timeline eraser. Nobody's ever seen it because they claim it's too dangerous to test near inhabited systems. Maya felt something click. They're all doing what we're doing. Exactly. The entire council is held together by mutual terror of weapons nobody can prove exist. It's the ultimate prisoner's dilemma, scaled up to galactic civilization. Rita stopped pacing. So we just keep stalling. Can't, Maya said. They want a demonstration within the month. Plus, our cover story has a flaw. She activated her own display, showing a tactical map of known space. I told them our last test destroyed the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy. That's actually still there. Shit, Jax muttered. Double shit, Amara added. Because if we're supposedly advanced enough to build a reality fragmenter, we should know perfectly well that Canis Major is intact. Maya rubbed her temples. Options. Go. We could run, Rita suggested half-heartedly. Pack up, relocate to another galaxy, start fresh. With what faster-than-light drive? Jax pointed out. Our entire FTL capability depends on the quantum crystals, and guess who controls the main supply? The Council, Maya finished. So running isn't an option. What about hiding? Making them think Earth is empty? Amara shook her head. They've been monitoring our quantum signatures for months. They know exactly where and what we are. The room fell silent. Maya stared at the holographic displays, watching simulated planets orbit simulated stars, and felt like a character in some cosmic joke. Then, something in Amara's equations caught her eye. Wait, she said slowly. Dr. Kovic, what did you say about localized reality distortions? That my theoretical framework could potentially cause small-scale quantum anomalies. Why? What if we gave them exactly what they're expecting? Not a weapon demonstration, but a carefully controlled quantum event that looks like one. Jax leaned forward. Like special effects. Like practical physics, Maya corrected. We use Amara's theories to create a visible quantum distortion in space. Something flashy, something that reads on their instruments, but contained enough that we don't actually break anything. Amara's eyes widened. The quantum crystals, if we could create a resonance cascade using Earth's natural deposits, it might work. We wouldn't be fragmenting reality, just bending it a little. Like a lensing effect. Can you make it look real? Define real. To an outside observer, the spacetime distortion would be measurable. It would look and behave exactly like what they'd expect from a reality-altering weapon. Rita crossed her arms. And when they ask us to do it again? Or target something specific? Maya grinned suddenly. Then we express grave concern about the weapon's instability. We can't risk consecutive tests, the quantum foundations of local spacetime need time to settle. Standard galactic safety protocols, I'm sure they understand. We're doubling down on the bluff, Jax said, half admiringly, half horrified. We're buying time, Maya corrected. Time to figure out how this really works. Time to maybe actually develop the technology we're claiming to have. Amara was already deep in calculations, holographic equations spinning around her like a mathematical storm. I'll need full access to the crystal deposits. And we'll need to evacuate anything within a 1,000-kilometer radius of the demonstration site. Just in case? Rita asked. Just in case I'm wrong about my own math, yes. Over the next 3 weeks, Maya barely slept. She coordinated with mining operations to access the largest quantum crystal deposit on Earth, a cavern system in what used to be the Australian outback. She managed increasingly paranoid communications from the Council, who seemed eager to either welcome humanity or obliterate it, depending on the outcome of the test. Jax continued monitoring alien communications and discovered something interesting. "Lieutenant, you need to see this." He pulled up an encrypted transmission between 2 Council species. The translation was rough, but clear enough: if the human's weapon works as advertised, the balance is broken. 37 votes will be required to maintain the sovereignty of fear. The sovereignty of fear? Maya asked. I think it's what they call their whole system. Fear-based deterrence on a cosmic scale. Each species maintains the illusion of possessing ultimate weapons to prevent others from developing or using theirs. It's mutually assured destruction, but nobody has to actually build the destruction. Maya laughed, a short, sharp sound. And we've accidentally stumbled into joining their club. More than that. If our bluff works, we might actually change the power dynamic. Earth would hold a card nobody else has verified. 3 days before the demonstration, Amara made her final preparations. The crystal cavern had been evacuated and converted into a massive resonance chamber. Quantum field generators hummed with barely contained energy. Last chance to back out, Rita said, monitoring readouts from a safe distance. Maya watched the alien observation ships taking position at the edge of the solar system. Every major species had sent representatives. This wasn't just a demonstration, it was an event. Dr. Kovic, are we ready? Amara nodded, though she looked pale. The resonance cascade will create a visible distortion in space approximately 3,000 cubic kilometers in volume. It'll look like reality is tearing. It'll last 7 seconds, then collapse into quantum foam. And the danger level? Statistically insignificant. Probably. Maya keyed her calm for the final time. Council representatives, humanity is prepared to demonstrate our reality fragmenter technology. Please maintain safe distance and prepare your recording instruments. The response came in 27 different languages, but the tone was universal: get on with it. Initiate cascade, Maya ordered. Space twisted. Even from their distant observation point, the effect was visible to the naked eye. Reality bent like fabric under tension, colors that shouldn't exist rippling through the void. The alien ship's instruments went wild. If Maya didn't know better, she would have sworn they'd actually torn a hole in the universe. For 7 seconds, they held their breath. Then it collapsed, leaving normal space behind like nothing had happened. For a long moment, the comm channels were silent. Then, from the arbiter, most impressive. Humanity's credentials are accepted. Welcome to the Council of Civilizations. Maya sagged with relief, but kept her voice steady. Thank you. We look forward to contributing to the Council's continued stability and prosperity. After the alien ships departed, Maya's team reconvened in their situation room. The celebration was muted, too much relief, not enough triumph. I can't believe that worked, Rita admitted. It worked because they wanted it to work, Jax said, pulling up his analysis. Look at this. He displayed the alien communications during the demonstration. They were terrified but also relieved. Amara looked up from her own data. Because now there's someone else playing the same game they're playing. The balance of terror just got more balanced. Maya nodded slowly. We proved we're civilized enough to threaten the destruction of all civilization. Welcome to galactic politics. Her comm chimed with an incoming private message. The source was encrypted, but it appeared to be from the Kresh hegemony. The message was simple: nice bluff. Ours hasn't worked for 60 years, but nobody's called us on it yet. Want to compare notes? Maya showed the message to her team. Jax burst out laughing. Rita shook her head in disbelief. Amara looked thoughtful. You know what's funny? Amara said finally. In trying to fake a reality fragmenter, I actually solved some theoretical problems I'd been stuck on for years. Given enough time and resources, we might actually be able to build one. Do we want to? Maya asked. Do we have a choice? Rita countered. Now that we're in the club, someone's eventually going to call our bluff. Or worse, try to test whether our weapon works by using theirs. Maya stared at the message on her screen, thinking about the aliens who just welcomed humanity into their cosmic game of chicken. They were all terrified of each other, all pretending to possess the ultimate threat, all too afraid to find out who was bluffing and who wasn't. Reply to the creche, she said finally. Set up a meeting. If the whole galaxy's built on shared delusions, we'd better make sure ours is the most convincing. As her team dispersed to handle the post-demonstration protocols, Maya floated back to the observation bubble. Through the transparent aluminum, she could see Earth, beautiful, fragile, and now officially part of a civilization held together by mutual terror. She wondered if humanity had just taken its first step toward the stars, or its last step before falling into an abyss of its own making. Either way, they were committed now. Time to learn the rules of the game.